Sri Gurubhyo Namaha. Namaste friends. Today in this video I would love to showcase how the great work Phaladeepika, the principles on longevity in that book, longevity and transits in the book are analyzed using custom Excel tool. So Mantreshwara, the great author of the work Phaladeepika, I think he lived somewhere in the 16th century, and his work is remarkable in many ways. He gives very clear exposition for the effects of transits, and the one that we have taken up here is on longevity, a few slokas from Phaladeepika to bring out how we can use Excel as a tool to analyze transits, interpreting those slokas. So that is the idea behind this video. So let me walk you through the Excel itself. In fact, I need to give a brief background on how this work emerged. I should thank one of our subscribers and a good friend of mine, Mr. Prasad ji from Hyderabad, who initiated this great work that we can do, because he was totally fascinated by Phaladeepika, and in fact he referred to me Vic Dikara's videos, and in fact Vic Dikara has extensively done multiple podcast, I think videos on Phaladeepika's entire work, excellent videos that we need to go and watch. So he initiated me into seeing specifically Bruce Lee's longevity analysis by Vic Dikara, very logical presentation there. And Mr. Prasadji asked me if we can do something in Excel so that it is a useful tool for us to understand how transits are used to find longevity. So I should thank Prasadji who initiated it very nicely, but for him we would not have brought this Excel. So and we have other multiple users who have also cross-checked what we have done. We have passed this Excel to a few of them, and they have set right certain things, gave ideas on putting this there. I mean, that has been a very helpful. I should thank Mr. Rauji of Vijayawada, Mr. Karthikeyan of Chennai. These people have been very helpful to check, make sanity checks on the Excel. So let me now. So longevity, when we leave this terrestrial terrain, when that happens, when we will die, that's a question that bothers, it's a question that rises in all our minds. When the transits actually portend this very ominous portents that come about, when really will it be a very difficult time, or how is it, what planets are going to bring about our final exit from this world as we leave the terrestrial terrain, is something Mantreshwara has beautifully brought out from his transit analysis. So let me directly jump into the Excel. In fact, I initially started with a template wherein we used in the Gemini's case, we used a template where we can use pre-1900 dates as well. I had built it halfway through, maybe I will put that as well for, but then later on it was easier for me to build for post-1900 because some calculations are easier. So what I am showing here is for post-1900. So you have to understand this file works only for post-1900. This tells you that it will not work in Excel 97 2003, it will not work in Excel 97 2003. So later versions, and if you have properly placed the Swiss ephemeris DLL, then they should see this as even Excel 2019 it will not work. So some formulas that I use will work only in Excel 365. So you have to be aware of that very clearly, and maybe go through previous videos and also the information I have given on error handling, one video on that we have done. If you have not pasted properly the DLL, then it will give problems. Okay, that apart, let me jump into how this Excel is structured. I need to give here the name, date, time, place and time zone. Whatever is marked blue here, only that it needs to be given. And in this sheet, I am calculating only the planetary longitudes. I am not calculating the ascendant here. So rest are all calculated, meaning from here onwards, from column H, everything is calculated, and you have to be watchful in putting the place properly. Sometimes, because I am using a code to find the latitude and longitude, sometimes the same place might occur in different places of the earth. So preferably give the countries clearly, because I put Allahabad and it was putting some vague latitude, longitude, whereas I intended Allahabad of India. So better put the country also here. That's a warning that I would like to give. And how this I have structured is give the names of the people. Mostly I have taken people who have already died, just to cross verify these principles. So I start with the X death for people who have already died, giving them the death date. Okay, so this is the death date, time, place, time zone, and whereas this is the birth date, time and so on. And here I have initially given a sheet called natal, where the user has to choose the individual chart that he is interested in. Suppose I take Abdul Kalam, immediately it goes for the transit of X death APJ Abdul Kalam. Therefore, the naming of this has to be exactly X. It has to start with the X death and a hyphen or a gap, not a hyphen. So X death gap, then I put the name. So that's how I structured it. If you want to modify, of course, go ahead and do it. But preferably, then only it will pull the transit date for the same person. Okay, the death date. This is the death date, whereas this would be the natal date. So natal date, it will pull from the previous sheet all the places, latitude, longitude, everything is calculated from the place. GMT of birth is calculated. Then the sunrise is calculated. And here I again want to explain clearly. See, this person was born on the 15th, whereas the sunrise it shows is for 14th. In fact, he was born after the 14th sunrise or 15th sunrise. He was born after the 15th sunrise only, 11:45 a.m. Therefore, it should be a 14 is irrelevant here. So I have to adjust this by adding a 1 there. So it will be a 15th sunrise. This is a sunset. We are interested in only the 15th sunset now. So you have to modify these what are called seeds, because sometimes depending on the zone, west of GMT or east of GMT, the sunrise and sunset are calculated from an initial point which goes back to a previous day or the next day wrongly. So you have to ensure that your time of birth is falling between one sunrise and the next day's sunrise. So immediate next day's sunrise. So that you have to ensure. Let me take that as an example with other cases. See, Amrita Pritam, he was born in the wee hours of 2 hours 30 in the midnight on the 31st August. So he was born after the 30th sunrise and after the 30th sunset, and next day was the 31st sunrise. So this is correct, just because I had a 1 year. Had it been a 0, it will be wrong. So you should definitely correct it to 1 year. And some corrections might require 0. So you have to play around with this to ensure that your birth time is after this sunrise and before this sunrise. Okay, that you have to ensure. Then only the JAMA would be properly calculated, and the weekday will also be properly, the Vedic weekday is what is used. So Vedic weekday will be calculated. So why these are relevant is, we need to know Saturn's JAMA. So when the JAMA is rising. This we have already done in previous videos, but let me illustrate it again. The ruler of each JAMA The first Jama on a Sunday is ruled by sun if it is a daytime, and like that. So Saturn's Jama determines the rising time of Gulika, Mandi and all that. So Saturn Jama, whether it is a night birth or a day birth, when Saturn, this is Saturn's Jama on a Saturday, this is Saturn's Jama on a Friday. So Saturn's Jama controls the, determines the, similarly Yamakantaka is determined by Jupiter's Jama. So these upagrahas we have already done a video, but in case you are not seen it, you can go and watch that as well. So I need the correct Jama there. So I am getting the Gulika, and the definition of Gulika is again I have to clarify. Gulika, they say, some say that it is related to the beginning of Saturn Jama, Saturn's Jama, while Mandi is the start of the Sunya or the end of Saturn's Jama. So for Saturn you have to have a beginning, so I put a 0 there. 0 means the beginning, and middle means 0.5, so you can choose 0.5. And some people might call this as also the Gulika and Mandi, they don't differentiate, some people. So it is left to your choice. Then you have to put a 0 here. So I have given a choice of maybe directly, normally, yeah, some people use 1, so I think you have not made the 0 there. So 0.5 is what normally is used. So in case you want to modify that, you can change the code itself there. The allowable numbers there, yeah. So Jupiter Jama is calculated, Yamakantaka is calculated. See the Jama rise time, the Lagna at the rise time of a particular upagraha is the degree of the upagraha. So the Yamakantaka is starting, rising at this time. So if you calculate the degree, you have to just calculate the Lagna at this time, that's all. That Lagna becomes the Yamakantaka. Similarly here, Mandi, at this time you have to find the Lagna. So it's all boils down to finding the Lagna. So this in fact is doable even for pre-1900 birth if I had used that template. So but I had to use a different code. Okay, anyway I have not done it, I will not talk about it. But anyway I will share that file also. You can, if you want, you can build the same template using that template as well. Okay. Now, what are called drekkanas is very important for death predictions. Drekkana is the D3 chart. In D3 chart, what is the D3, that is rising? So the what you have here is the Lagna. What is the Lagna in the D3 chart? Who is the Lagna Lord? What is the Drekkana Lagna? What is this Lagna? Normal D1 Lagna, Drekkana Lagna, and all that are calculated here. And the 8th house in the D1, the 27th Drekkana, all this you already are aware of all this for astrological parlance. And I have put some pictures here of the effects. The 22nd Drekkana is this, what is the effect and all that. If each sign, if there are 3 Drekkanas in each sign, and there is a 6 of that, the categories, nature and all that. So your Excel itself would pull you what is for the rising Navamsha as well as for the 22nd Drekkana. So which part of this it falls into. So you don't have to use these things, you can directly use the Excel there. So this is about the calculations part. So the only part that the user used to do is just pull which chart he is interested in, just this color, that's all he has to do. Rest are all calculated for him. He can come back and check these things. We will come back to that for interpretations. Now in the natal transit chart is the major development that we have done there. So it pulls the same person, whatever you have put there as Amrita Pritam. So you don't have to touch anything here, you just have to see. So here on the right hand side I have put the transit, when the exact transit date he died. And the left hand side you have the natal chart with the Gulika, Mandi. So the charts of interest are first the natal chart, the Rashi chart, the Navamsha chart, the D3 Drekkana chart, Drishkona they also call it, and Dvadashamsa chart. So the videos of Vic Dikara, say Bruce Lee's death is for so fine, beautiful analysis he has done logically, but he uses the tropical Ainamsa, which is not we do normally. The Ainamsa part I have already given here. I choose the true Chitra here. So even tropical is a part of this. You can use tropical as well to check. So it was a little different when I used tropical. So I am comfortable with using Chitra Paksha Lagari. So what here is the main focus area of this work is on various slokas in the Phaladeepika. Let me walk you through each sloka and how we are going to use it. So this is a table which is basically a computation for the sloka 2 of chapter 17, which superimposes Saturn's transit and checks when the Lord of the 8th, Gulika, Saturn, Lord of the 22nd decanate, that is that 22nd decanate falls in the 8th house in the D3 chart. Okay, these are the elements, and in which Rasi it is there, which Kona, 9th Kona, which Navamsa, and 5th, 9th Kona, and the 5th and 9th Kona of Navamsa. So here is the sloka for each of these. Ascertain the Rasi and Navamsa occupied by the Lord of the 8th house, Gulika, Saturn, and the Lord of the 22nd decanate, counted from that of the Lagna. When Saturn transits that Rasi or Navamsa or its triangular positions, death may happen. So here I have erected the transit chart. Here is the natal chart, and the highlight portion shows you whether it actually this sloka is validating or not. When Saturn does transit the Rasi itself or its Navamsa. In this case, Amrita Pritam, it actually had actually happened in terms of the same Rasi itself. So similarly, each of the slokas, you can read the slokas which I have put here and there. I have put sloka 21, sloka 18. So multiple slokas I have put. The highlights tells you whether it is happening as per the sloka or not. So in this case, you can have a visual way of how ominous it is. More the number of red that you see here, it more the probability that the death might happen, or it is at least a bad period. In fact, the sloka says that death might happen during that time. But as I said, you have to be very clear that death prediction and all is a very difficult proposition, because we should not take everything, there are so many assumptions here, so we should be very clear that you should not take it to heart too much. So longevity is a very sensitive topic. I should emphasize that the sensitivity of determining longevity, because this tool itself will have some limitations. The tool is purposeful, the purpose of the tool is only for educational purposes. So definitely I would encourage you to go and consult an expert professional astrologer for a deeper and more personalized prediction of death and all. Because it's a very clear interpretation, because we do not know so many things. We cannot just seeing the red color here, we should not take to heart that death would have happened. This is more a tool for astrologers themselves to easily gauge and then interpret, not for the layman. So, but layman can get an idea of how difficult the transit is. It's a validity tool, so you can pull many number of people's data and check this sloka is validating, this sloka is validating, this sloka is validating. So see, this sloka is not validating. Nothing red there, nothing red here. So this is on Jupiter's transit. This is purely on Jupiter's transit. You can go through the slokas and see if this is what is replicating the sloka. If there are mistakes, please point out. So we have collected, I think I have given some data here. You can pull out other people's death and check. Maybe I'll illustrate one or two cases for us to fully understand how this happens. Let me Just give me a minute's time. So here I have nearly given, I think, 26 charts of birth and the same corresponding 26 death cases. So let me maybe take some examples. Bhimsen Joshi we take. So it immediately pulls the Bhimsen Joshi of the transit, and once you see here, just you have to ensure this first. So he was born on the 4th at 5 a.m. That is after the normally sunrise. You have to 5 a.m. is not the sunrise. Sunrise is around 7 a.m. Around those days. Therefore, he was born on the 4th means after the 3rd, right? So 3rd is correct here. So 3rd sunset is also be used. The next day is the 4th. He was born on the 3rd is what as per Vedic weekday of 3rd. So he was born on a Friday. So nothing to touch here. But always correct this before you proceed to the next sheet. Other than that, it says D3 is a male, Ayudha, Saumya. So it is connected with the blood issues, falls and wealth. I don't know how Bhimsen Joshi died, but if these are relevant, poison, Kirmi Tattva, Abiba, maybe stomach disorders, all this it gives. So whether you can cross check that will be a useful thing. And the natal chart, if we come here, he died on a particular, this transit chart when he died is here. And first this is going to tell you the transiting planet here in this case, Saturn's transit is what is checked. So see, it is passing through Saturn, natal Saturn itself. It is passing to the 22nd drekkana. It is passing through the D9 5th drekkana to Saturn. So this is fully applicable. And similarly, this is not nowhere there. Jupiter transit is not matching. This is Sun transit is matching. Sun transit, you have to see the Sun in the D12 chart. So Lord of the 8th and all that, whatever is put there. So this is Moon transit is also showing red. So sloka 18 is, you have so many things coming up as red. This is for brother's demise, not his own demise. And here the sloka says only the Rasi and Navamsa. I have still added the 5th Amsa and the 9th Amsa, but if you want to use, you can use it, but you can delete it because it is not as per the sloka there. It is using only Rasi and Navamsa in the sloka. So, but of course it is for the brother's demise, it is not for the self demise, but that can give an idea. We can, maybe there are, we have I think 26 charts here, and this is so many criteria is met by this 8 criteria totally considered in these charts. Out of the 8 criteria, I think this criteria is met, this criteria is met second. I think it meets almost 4 criteria here. 1, 2, 3 and 4 criteria here. You can check there. 4 or maybe even 5. Similarly, you can pull other people. So if you have to pull another chart, come over here and say Brandon Lee. We will check one more chart. I think I'll Bhimsen Joshi, Brandon Lee, I'll check. Okay, nothing more. You have to ensure that the date here, first you have to come here. He was born on the 1st at 5:40 hours only again, because sunrise is around 7 o'clock. So it is, he was born just the day before then. So you have to ensure that after the 31st sunrise, and here also you put a 0 there, after the 31st sunset, before the first sunrise, he was born. So you have to ensure that the correct jama is captured here and correct day gets captured here. So you have to play around. Basically the idea here is the birth should happen, or the birth which is this, should happen between 2 sunrises, sunrise 1 and sunrise 2. Okay, it should be before this sunrise 2 and after this sunrise 1. So that way you have to adjust it. Once you come to the natal chart, that's the only thing you have to worry about, and the name check here. Then you move on to the natal chart here, natal sheet here, natal and transit together. You don't have to do anything here because everything is pulled automatically from here. from the previous sheet. So see, yes, Lord of the 8th, the Aquarius, Saturn was transiting that. Saturn was transiting the Rasi, Aquarius Rasi itself is the where Saturn was placed for him. So here you see Saturn sitting exactly in Aquarius, and if you see his original chart, Saturn is in fact natal Navamsa. This is, if you see here, Saturn is sitting on Aquarius for him. So looks like this is definitely holding correctly. And similarly, if you see the Jupiter transit, that's also mating. If you see Sun's transit, that's remarkably meeting. And if you see Moon's transit, that's also as per the sloka only. This is also Lagna plus Pandi. So many of the criteria are getting really met during this time. You can analyze why things happened for him and how things happened also. When he come here, see, if you it's Ayudha. I think he was shot accidentally because of a bullet, that blood issues, falls, Ayudha, everything is coming out that way for him, is because his Lagna drekkana is like that. So this is the power of astrology, this is the power of Phaladeepika. Of course, you can, the tool power is bringing out multiple charts for analysis. So I will give the Excel for as a tool here for you to use it for multiple people's cases. So what I would like to clearly again put the disclaimer is, this is a very sensitive topic. Don't take it to heart immediately. Consult experts if you are in doubt. This is not for the general public. This is for astrologers themselves to use. Okay. In summary, what I want to show is analyzing transits and longevity based on Phaladeepika. We have a tool now in Excel. Okay, I would strongly encourage all of you to use it. I will invite all people to explore how these principles of Vedic astrology can be applied beautifully to any death, modern deaths, whatever it is, and even the nature of death comes out very nicely. So please do leave comments and definitely please subscribe to our channel and keep following up for more updates. I thank you all. It comes about because your motivations, your suggestions, that is what brings us motivation to do these Excels. So please do use them and give us feedback, and take the responsibility of properly using the tool also, because you should not be alarmed by wrong usage of the tool as well. Thank you very much for your patient hearing, and again give your feedback. That's very, very important to us. Thank you very much. Bye.